Hello, this is Mr. Gallardo. I'm one of the new classroom culture specialists here in Chavez High School. And I have this idea of, rather than flipping the classroom, I'm going to flip the training that I provided together with Ms. JQs on last November 15th about what our role is with our campus. Basically, I can summarize this in these 4 words. Some of them apply, the other 2 don't apply. As classroom culture specialists, we're supposed to advise teachers that are struggling either in their classroom instruction or classroom management, support them with ideas, materials, anything that we can help with given our experience. By no means are we supposed to evaluate or appraise. That is the job of appraisers and other administrators. In our training, we went through the strategies or general ideas that we identified as pertaining to our practice as teachers. The following are basically the strategies that Ms. JQs and myself have identified as positive and conducive to a successful classroom experience. Always keep in mind that after all, our final objective is our students' learning. So if you cannot see the path through which your strategy or what you're doing leads to successful students' learning, well, then that's not a path that you want to take. These are very basic concepts, and most of you, after listening to me talking about them, may think that, yeah, I know that, but are you really applying it? I mean, not because it's basic, it means that you're already doing it. Not because you probably think you're doing it, you're already doing it. So let's just go one by one. The first one is consistency. The example that we gave on the training is that of social contracts. Is a very positive thing to just go ahead and prepare a social contract together with your students. But are you really being consistent about it? Is the social contract up? And does it still apply after 1 month, 2 months? Are you referring to the social contract when there is a problem in the classroom? When you are not getting what you expected from your students? Consistency not only applies, obviously, to social contracts, also to your rules, the way that you teach the class, your consequences, your expectations. You need to be consistent. It is wonderful if you shake your students' hands during the first week of school, but are you doing it after 2 months, 3 months? You need to be consistent. The second one, positive attitude. When you hear somebody giving you advice, you may feel like, well, I have this problem, and you may be right. You may have many problems, but are you listening to the advice? Or you are already just, after hearing it, you're already discounting it, denying the possibility of that advice to really work? If we don't have a positive attitude, there's no way that we can make any advance, that we can progress as professionals in any field, actually. In both of the sessions that Ms. Jacques and I conducted, we had a very interesting conversation about warnings. I claim that warnings don't work. Little consequences do work, but not warning. If a student is not doing something that he or she is supposed to be doing, giving a warning it's going to take you nowhere. And then there was a bit of a debate, as I anticipated. Some teachers said that warning work. So yeah, we can have an argument about it. But let's say that, or maybe we should rephrase it as constant warning after warning, they really don't work. Consequences need to be there sometime. In my view, consequences should be there for the first time. Instead of a warning, give a small consequence. Obviously, the tighter your agenda is, the better your classroom management and instruction is going to be. If you don't have a very well-defined lesson plan within a specific order, if you don't fill the 90 or 95 minutes, if you have your kids doing nothing for whatever period of time, obviously chances of problems increase. Not only in terms of classroom management or discipline, basically your kids are doing nothing in your classroom for whatever time, and that is not productive. So it is very important that you have a good plan for your class, namely a lesson plan from bell to bell. Seating arrangement, they do work. They should be done in a different way per class. You may choose to do them randomly. In that training, we gave the strategy of the deck of cards, which basically you are, in a way, fooling your kids to believe that you sit them anywhere randomly when actually you decided to do it in a certain way. Or you can actually do it randomly, or sit them in groups by level, like your most successful kids together. Or something I prefer, make groups where you have always a very strong student, academically strong student with weeks with it's kind of hard to be politically correct all the time, but you know what I mean, with a student that is not that academically successful, and with another kid that is kind of in between. Then you make you end up making a very productive group. Of course, you need to walk from group to group to make sure that not only the most successful kids are doing the job for the others. We also talk about certain visual reinforcements that we use. For example, I have this sign with a green font and a red font. I'm not going to try to fight against cell phones in classroom, because sometimes I want them to use their cell phone, but it must be very clear for them when it is appropriate to use it and when it's not. Ms. Jacques showed a poster she got, basically telling students when the class was going to be more technology based, like now you need your phone, you need your laptop, or more old-fashioned, like today you need paper, pencil, etc. So that poster is always showing one side or the other, so the kids, just by looking at it, know what kind of day is it, and you're saving time from even explaining, repeating yourself. That visual reinforcement is letting them know what's going on, how is it going on that day. I'm a big fan of hand signals, especially when I ask questions to my whole class, like something as basic as how was your weekend. If you let them all answer, somebody had a horrible weekend, you may not hear it. So instead of having them answer the question orally, I ask them to show me fingers. So 5 fingers, it was a great weekend. 1 finger, it was a horrible weekend. And then I make all of them, and I can just take a quick glance at the whole class and see how they did. I mean, there are mostly 5s, mostly 1s, mostly 3s, etc. And obviously, this is not supposed to be used only for that kind of social question, but also academic, like multiple choice warming ups or anything. It's a very effective strategy, having them answer with their fingers rather than talking one over the other. Flip classes. Well, basically what I'm doing with this training, I'm flipping the training. It's a good idea to record your voice. You may even record your voice as you are lecturing a class, as you're teaching a class, and you have that recording ready for them to listen to, refer back to anytime. You can edit it, make it a little shorter, because in terms of pauses, I'm actually planning on doing that with this flipped training, so I decided to go. And another advantage of flipping classes is that when you have a student that is absent, that student can, listen to your class. You can make a video, putting images to it, or just basically, if you want to make it really simple, any smartphone has a recording application, and you can use it to record your voice, upload it to the Hub or any platform that you share with your students. In HISD is the Hub. I think it's a very positive thing to do. Give options. That's the last strategy. Easy to say, hard to do, because more options mean more planning, but it works. It really works to empower the kids to decide in which way they want to learn a certain concept, or in which way they want to show their work, how they perform in giving you a product based on your teaching. Also, you can give options in the way that they learn. Like, for example, me doing this right now, you could have attended the session that I conducted together with Ms. Jacques, or you can listen to this now. Or, for example, you can just give away handouts, etc. It's a great thing to give options in how to gather the information or the skills, and also give options in how to perform, how to have your students give you work related to what you just taught them. In that training as well, we asked our teachers, and this was very successful, to let us know about some challenges that they had and how they solve them. That is going to empower Ms. Jekis and myself, because we're not supposed to know everything. I know probably most that there is to know about teaching a Spanish class, but I don't know that much about algebra, about science, about even English. So we need to hear from you. We need to see what kind of challenges you had, how you solved them, and that connects to the next part. That was the exit ticket of our training, for you to tell us about challenges that you had now that you haven't solved. And by connecting both, we may find solutions in the first group practice activity to the last group practice activity, which is the exit ticket. We're still analyzing and seeing what your major challenges are. I can anticipate right now that the challenges that many teachers have in this school are having too many students per class. Floating is a challenge, so we still need to work out ways to ease the pain, to make these challenges, if not disappear, be more manageable. And that's pretty much it. I kind of improvised this recording. I hope it is good enough. I hope my accent is not a barrier for you to understand what I'm saying. And let's hope that this is the first of many flip trainings here in Chavez High School.